All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of Gar Capital. Glad to be with you this morning and every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the YouTube channel. Having little issues with FinViz. For some reason, it's not giving me the heat map. Here we are with this screen. This is the Discord with all the news and information that we have. A lot of earnings that came in, a lot of economic data that came in as well. So if you are on the Discord and looking for all that information, make sure to check out the live market blog and the pre-market plan for any kind of updates as we go. It is Thursday, January 25th, 2024. Let's go ahead and start around the horn. I'm going to go ahead and put the information scrolling at the bottom. Got some GDP numbers. Again, you can take a look at that. We'll go over that here in a second. Let's go to the full screen. All right, here we go. S&P 500 futures, again, you can see moving higher, 49.15, up 0.35%. NASDAQ up about 0.48%, 17,704. That's with Tesla down, mind you. Imagine how higher we would be if Tesla got his act together. Dow futures up 76 points, 0.20%. The dollar index 103.31, up 0.08%. The Russell is at 1995, up 1.18%. Crude oil is up as well, 1.5%. Gasoline futures up 1.2%. Gold is up 0.16% with the dollar being down. Oh, the dollar being, actually, it's green. So gold being up is interesting. 22.98 up 0.42%. Copper was up nicely yesterday, pulling back this morning. The VIX is down 0.15%. Let's see here. Euro dollar down about 19 pips, 108.65. Dollar yen down about 18 and 134.92 for dollar down 31 dollar flat 127.29. Bitcoin futures right near 40,000, or if you guys remember, that was the gap fill that we were looking for. So we're starting to get a little bit of a bounce now. Ethereum 2208, that is up 0.32%. Good morning all. Okay, so we got a lot of news to go over. GDP numbers, again, that's scrolling at the bottom. Advanced reading came in at 3.3% above expectations of 2%. The previous was 4.9. Again, this is based on a quarter basis. Initial jobless claims, 214,000 above 1,000. So maybe some of that bad news is good news. Maybe it's a lot of the GDP number. That's why we're getting a nice shot in the arm this morning. Tesla stock down 9% post earnings. Let's go ahead and go over that chart, and we'll go over that quarter. So let's take a look at the quarter. It is scrolling at the bottom. Tesla Q4 EPS $2.27. Fourth quarter adjusted EPS 71 cents. Estimate 73 cents. Tesla Q4 revenue 25.17 billion. Estimated 25.87. So that's a miss on the top and bottom line. Free cash flow is at a beat. 2.06 billion versus 1.45 billion. Tesla Q4 gross margin 17.6, 18.1% was the expectation. Okay, so let's unpackage this together. If you're a Tesla shareholder or you wanted to buy Tesla, well, what are we looking for? Okay, so the news that came out, as a shareholder, I would say, hey man, this is where you want to kind of keep things to the point of lower expectations. The stock is already getting hit. You're already cutting prices. You're having issues with production. You have to raise wages. Pretty much all the bad things that are happening to Tesla might as well just happen now. Let things just flow out. And then I would assume that in the summer, if things all go well in terms of demand, production gets better. Again, automobiles sales are very, very cyclical. So like I said, 180 is our target. We're at 189. What I want to go out and run and buy here today? No, give it the 3-day rule. Give it a couple of days. I don't see any reason to run out and buy. Let's see where this bottoms out. Maybe we go ahead and test the lows in May, which is around 163. I doubt it. I would think right around 180 is probably your support. That's kind of the zone we're looking for. Again, that's that trend line. And that's where we should bounce back if this trend stays intact. If you guys remember, we had that trend line. We kept rejecting. We do have puts on it. And I have one contract. I told Masterclass to close it if they wanted to kind of keep the risk in check. You could see it here, filled the 200 puts. Again, it was just too expensive to signal to everyone else, but it was a stock that we were talking about for a while that we expected right that 180 level. And we got there. We're pretty close to there. We're about $10 away. So, masterclass again. If you have a runner, cool. Take it in the morning. Enjoy yourself. If you have a full position closed, leave a runner. And if you don't have any position open, that's okay. We're going to be looking at right around the 180 zone to start buying some calls. So, if you missed the boat on Tesla puts, that's completely fine. It's just more opportunities out there for everyone to take advantage. In terms of the quarter, my opinion on it? Again, I like the fact that they just pretty much threw the kitchen sink at it. Kind of sets up for a comeback like a PayPal, like a Metaverse. If you guys remember Nike, that was beaten down for a minute. And, kind of churn and burn. Maybe get just got a little too overheated on the stock in terms of earnings multiples. There's a lot of things that you can blame. Price cuts, demand softening. Demand is softening for EVs. That's fair. And the problem with Tesla is that it is very dependent on these kind of tax subsidies, right? If you get like a tax subsidy to buy an EV, that's probably a good motivator for some to actually go ahead and actually buy an EV. Again, take advantage of the tax breaks. But if Tesla's models all don't have that tax break, does that hurt sales? That's kind of, I think, something that needs to be worked on. We're in an election year too. Again, things can change. You can have administrations change. Those EV laws or tax deductions could be taken off the books. So you got some headwinds on Tesla if they are dependent on that. The one wild card I would say in terms of Tesla, I know there's a lot of questions and we're going to go over a bunch together. The one wild card for me on Tesla is AI. And, there's a saying out there, don't bet against Elon. And, if you do, sometimes you do get paid out. True. He's not perfect, but you can't deny the man's intelligence. If he starts really picking up on AI, that might be enough to give Tesla some juice to make it a technology company in terms of evaluation rather than an automaker. If we're looking at them in the prism of an automaker, they're way too expensive. We know that. But if we look at them as a technology company that makes cars, they might be actually really cheap. So that's kind of how I look at Tesla, because maybe they mix up SpaceX, who knows, AI, we'll see what's up. Again, at this point, if you've been a Tesla holder for years, just hold on to it. It's a great company in terms of their brand. When you think of EV, you think of Tesla. Tesla's was our top 10 stock last year. We didn't put it this year, but we know how we feel about it. And again, a lot of this is just technical. We'll see if we get to 180, give us a crack at buying some shares and reload. Let's see. All right. That's my thing on Tesla. Good morning. Jeff asks, AAL looks good above 1467 for the 15 calls. Yeah, we're at 1475. We're above the 200 day. So I guess right around 1489. That'd probably be a good level to buy. So to go ahead and go long, and we could target the 16s. There's no gap to fill. I wish there was, but again, I would just go by fibs here. That would probably be the next target on the 16s. I want to go really quickly AMD. I don't want to just be Mr. I told you so. That's not how we get down. The most important thing is, are you guys learning? So let's go ahead and take a look at AMD together. AMD, we had to close. We got hit. We were setting up for that right shoulder, and then it just went parabolic. The two things that upset me about AMD. One, if we were just 5 hours a little later, we would have caught the fall that we wanted. And B, we missed this whole move. We missed it. And the thing was that it was expensive. I was on the radio yesterday morning looking at it. We were talking about, I think, the 175s, and they were like $4. So it just went parabolic on us. Most people in our group are AMD shareholders anyway, so I can't be too upset. But that one is one I wish I could get back, at least in terms of filling. I should have just sat on my hands on Friday, waited towards that tail end of the day, and then shorted, and we would have got it. We bounced back at that support of 164.46. So from now looking forward, what we need to look at 164.46 is that's going to be our hard support. That's probably going to be your buy the dip area. And then here would be your next support, which is the previous OPEX highs of 176.42. So again, overbought, we know the drill. If it pulls back, and again, I'm not going to play this again for reversal, but I am going to take a look at a possible pullback for us to retest, just like here, and bounce. So get me right around 176. This will not be the last time that we trade AMD, guys. We're going to keep an eye on it very, very closely. Let it churn. It is overbought. I don't want to do a reversal on it again because that thing has major momentum, unfortunately. Uh, Pullbacks don't exist in this market. Am I right? Yeah, you ain't wrong. Let's see. PayPal. Reminder. I think PayPal reports next week, so be careful. Above 66.19, that's where we can start taking a look at calls. And there's a gap to fill right around 72. So we'll keep an eye on the options market. I didn't see much yesterday on PayPal, and I was kind of looking around. A lot of it was just Tesla. Google close to making all-time highs, possible momentum play. We did fill the Apple calls, and luckily we're bouncing, which is what I wanted because the market's going higher. So again, we know the drill. It's a low beta name, moves with the S&P. Let's go and take a look at Google. The all-time highs, at least on GOOG, Class B shares, is 152.10. We're at 151.73, kind of running out of room there. If we see a lot of volume on the 155s, maybe that'd be something to watch. Again, it would just be a blow off top, like Microsoft, like Meta, and Meta's actually in their sector. So kind of use Meta as their as the guide, and you can see how much it boosted above its all-time high. So it did boost around what, $9? $9 around all-time highs or above it. So you do get those wicks. So if you do play momentum here, just be careful you don't get wicked on that trade where you just tag 155 and then it pulls back. So it would be a momentum trade, but you'd have to be very, 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 very quick. We've been seeing a lot of early morning spikes, candles. Had it on Palantir. We were up 30% and I didn't close, but we're starting to bounce. At least that's good with a good GDP number. So maybe we get some momentum out of the stocks today. Goldman Sachs, same deal. That Monday spike, we were up 20%. I should have taken it, but we're starting to get a boost here on Goldman Sachs. Like I talked about in terms of the GDP number, if we got a strong GDP number, that might be a little momentum to get us higher. Got to get 390. Let's see, Microsoft and Intel. Intel just reported earnings yesterday. Microsoft, I mean, all-time highs on all-time highs. Kind of tough to chase. Now you're near all-time highs of 563. What more can we say that we haven't said on Microsoft? When I trade this here, man, it's tough sledding. You're really just buying it. I can't say at the top because it can go higher, but there's not a lot of edge there. Just keep going all-time highs. I mean, tough. At least Apple is not at all-time highs yet. But chasing all-time highs is so difficult, guys, because one candle and you're falling. Intel, let's see it. Intel's up about $1 after hours. Got pre-market. We got some support 47, so we can kind of use that as our target. 52.50 target of support. 52.55 is the target. That is the April 2022 highs. I'll keep an eye on the volume on that. If semiconductors still continue to move higher, Intel will probably be a cheap play than AMD. AMD is starting to get to the point with those premiums being so high, very, very expensive. You're talking about $8 premiums, and I don't want that for everybody. Not everyone has the portfolio to do that, and that's fair. So I try to keep it really between less than about $4 per contract, or $5 sometimes. Very, very, very rare that I would go above that. This is SE. SE is up above 39.60. You got to get above the 100-day here at 39.84, and then you have a gap to fill at 44.78. Or you just can wait for 47.25 to break out. But as of right now, it's just kind of forming a base. So we kind of have to show a little more before we can get into SE. All right, let's take a look at any other headlines today that I'm missing before we call it a day. Humana, they're down pre-market as well. They're down about, I want to say, how much are they down? Down about 14% this morning. Northrop Grumman, they beat on the top and bottom line as well. Southwest Airlines, really great quarter. 37 cents adjusted EPS versus the expected of 0.12, or excuse me, 12 cents. United States building permits month over month, 1.8%. That's a beat of the previous, negative 2.1%. Initial jobless claims. Let's go and talk about the macro. Why is the market up today based on the news? Interesting that the labor market in terms of unemployment claims a little higher than expected, but the market's kind of cheering that because PCE, the advanced PCE number, we get another PCE number tomorrow. If that comes in softer, that's going to justify a possible rate decrease in March, a rate cut. I don't think that's going to happen. But again, if the data still comes in the way it is, if labor starts showing a little bit of a crack, again, higher unemployment claims, then you're going to start seeing more possibility of more cuts or sooner cuts. GDP is still strong. That beat estimates on the quarter over quarter basis. But the labor market is what we really got to look after, guys. If people start losing their jobs, we got to loosen monetary policy, especially on an election year. Come on, we know the drill. Comments. Intel has earnings today. Excuse me, not last night. Yep, I was looking at that. There was no earnings on Intel. That's today. That's where I was looking for the earnings report on the blog. It wasn't there. It's for today. My apologies. So again, if you're trying to trade Intel, be very careful because you do have earnings today. So always that. My fault. My fault. All right, that's where we are this morning. Let's see if we get that continuation across the board in terms of the stocks. Just imagine a world if Tesla was actually up today. Where would the NASDAQ be? Do you think that Tesla's going to be down forever? Probably not. So it seems like higher we go in terms of the S&P 500. I mean, can't stop the rocket ship at this point. Let's just enjoy it and take advantage of what we can take advantage. We'll go ahead and, do you sell the GAR Capital Cap? No, this was made at Lids. So again, if anyone is interested in the hats, I'd have to get everyone's hat size and do it that way. But again, let me know if anything. I can always see if we can get you a hat out to you guys if you guys wanted one. That last note for Tesla hyped me. Yeah, I mean, with Tesla, guys, it's not going to stay that low forever. Again, I still have 180 as my target. We're going to hit that. I think we bounce oversold, and then that's going to help the NASDAQ go higher. That's the scary part. The NASDAQ is up 0.5% with Tesla being down. Not just down slightly, like down like 10%, 9%. So, well, it's a buy the dip market. I guess that's where we are right now. We'll go and leave it there, guys. Have a great rest of your morning. I'll see you guys on the radio at 9:30 in the morning. Cheers.